5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turntables activated. Get ready.
The most versatile hip-hop radio station in the world.
You can talk about us, but you can't talk without us. Phenomenal radio. We are what radio should be. You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think?
Holy where'd you find this?
You're locked into the #1 online radio station.
Here we go!
It's not that your radio sounds strange. You just found a station that plays what you like.
Phenomenal radio.
Radio just got a lot more fun. Thanks for listening.
Phenomenal Radio, PhenomRadio.com, the most versatile hip-hop station in the world. This is Global Audio Forensics, and we are in here with the legendary Doodoo Brown. I am your brother, Juan Carlos Sex, at Slate Stone Music. In here with my audio forensics brothers. Dick James, let them know what's good.
Peace and blessings. One love to everybody that signed in with us, to our millions of listeners and viewers worldwide. Yeah, we definitely have a world-renowned special guest today. John Gordon, otherwise known to the world as, like you said, the one and only undisputed underground king of comedy, Doodoo Brown.
Him. I appreciate the love. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the accolades.
Indeed. What's good, DJ Disspare?
Yo, it's DJ Disspare out of Canada, in Winnipeg. Just had a fashion show, so I'm gonna be here just listening to Doodoo Brown. I've been wanting to say that for so long. Interview you, man.
Word. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So, without any further delay, Doodoo Brown, let the people know who you are, who don't know you, or may not be familiar, or may have not come across you, which I don't know how they don't, because even before I talk to you now, I didn't came across your name and heard your name. And but let them know a little bit about you, brother.
Okay, I am comedian Doodoo Brown. I hail from Jacksonville, Florida. I got the name Doodoo Brown from my brother, rest in peace, brother Marquise of the 2 Live crew. That's where I got my name from. The song Doodoo Brown, that was created by a radio DJ by the name of Frank Ski, who's still on air here in Atlanta. I live in Atlanta now. He did a song called Doodoo Brown, where he sampled Brother Marquise's voice from a song from a 2 Live crew song called "Come On Baby," where Brother Marquise says, "Lick my ass up and down, lick it till your tongue turn Doodoo Brown," and that's where Frank Ski got the name Doodoo Brown from, and Marquise dubbed me the original Doodoo Brown. I embodied the song. I am the embodiment of the song Doodoo Brown, and I was given the stamp of approval by the man whose voice was sampled for the song. Yes, I've been doing stand-up comedy professionally. I got my first comedy dollar in 1992. So I've been doing stand-up for almost 33 years professionally. My first television appearance was a Def Comedy Jam in 1993 with Martin Lawrence. and so forth and so on for 32 years. Salute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 32 years. I know you got them stories. I know you got them jewels. I know you got experience,
Oh yeah.
guidance, wisdom, all that.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you sharing, brother. My first question is, what was it? What was the moment and when was it that you discovered your gift to make people laugh and have that comedic gift that you have where you recognize it in yourself?
Well, I used to I was a rapper first. I was a rapper. And after my record deal, after I got dropped from the label, I was wondering what I was going to do with the rest of my life because all I thought I was going to do is rap. I was a teenager at the time, and I had no idea that dreams come and go. That you can have, you know what I'm saying? You can dream of doing something and it may only be for a season, you know what I mean? But I was young, I was 18. I hadn't thought it through that far. So once I lost once I had the hit record and then all that was gone and you know what I'm saying, and got dropped from the label, I didn't know what I was gonna do with myself. And then somebody, comedian Chocolate from Charlotte, North Carolina, invited me to the comedy club. And when I saw what was going on at the comedy club, I was like, they pay y'all to do this? They pay y'all to do this? I can do this? Like I've been doing this, some class clown type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm the, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of them life of the party niggas. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them keep you laughing and joking and, lighthearted, and humorous. I used to get sat outside the classroom for that shit. But you're telling me that they'll pay me money to do this shit I used to do in high school, in junior high school, and the rest is history. I started coming on I think it was Tuesday nights, open mic night. I think I started in 90. I might have started in 90, 91. And like I said, I first got paid in 92, television by 93, and the rest is history.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can y'all hear me? Is my mic good? Do I need to turn the mic up or is everything okay?
It's good over here.
A1, baby.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
cool.
Sir,
just making sure. Go ahead.
Sir. Now, being in the culture, I know you say you did music at 18, had the hit record, and then you recognized that, the comedy thing and you could get paid for that. Being in the culture of comedy, my question is, what was it like? What was it for you to recognize who you were among the comedians that were already there? How did you recognize the different levels to the culture? Like, okay, he's sub-level, or this comedian, he really ain't got it to do this. Like, how did you recognize different dynamics? I
did what a lot of comedians did. I judged everybody by the standard of Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was the best comedian known, best black comedian out there, in my opinion, at the time of me sizing up the game of comedy, the most iconic. I won't say the best. I'll say the most iconic comedian of the time was Richard Pryor. So I just judged everything based off Richard Pryor. He was the bar. Richard was the bar, and I judged everything by that standard, by the Richard Pryor standard. White people love Richard. Black people, of course, love Richard. Richard did movies. He was a phenomenal actor. Of course, live stand-up comedy albums and comedy movies like Live on Sunset Strip. So I just judged everything from there. You know, I wanted that type of appeal. I wanted to appeal to both blacks and whites, just like Richard Pryor. Whatever Richard had accomplished, that's what I wanted to do.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right.
sir. And that is the bar. That name being outside of the culture and
Now,
what I know of Richard Pryor. I'm 44 years young. So
word.
knowing
Okay, so I'm
some
10 years, I'm 10 years older than you. Now that I'm a veteran, now that I'm a vet in the game of comedy, there are comedians way better than Richard. Way better than Richard. Way. Richard is the man. You cannot take nothing from Rich because he paved the way. He paved the way. But as far as comedic skills, there are guys out there way better than Richard. You dig? Not taking nothing from Richard. I'm just wiser now. You know what I'm saying? I'm wiser now. Comedians like George Carlin. George Carlin is a beast. He's smart. He's quick. Dave Chappelle, nigga, is a monster, bruh. He's so smart. He's very quick with it. Cat Williams in his own right is a beast. Just voice alone, Cat can hold his own with just his voice. This is how he has an iconic voice. You know what I
bought a
mean?
studio.
You
For that, he just bought his own studio now.
right? He just bought an army base. He
Fort
bought the
McAllen,
whole
Alabama.
base. He bought the whole base. I think it's like
Fort McAllen, Alabama.
I think it might be 300,000 acres. Yeah, he did some Tyler Perry shit. He bought, you know what I'm saying? He bought a whole military base.
Yep.
Like Tyler bought, I think it's Fort McPherson. I think don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but I think he bought Fort McPherson.
Yeah.
And Cat did kind of the same. I can't name the base, but it is a military base.
Fort McAllen, Alabama.
Word, Fort McAllen, Alabama. Yeah. So yeah, Cat is a beast. And these three comedians that I just named, and in their own rights, yeah, they're better than Richard. They're better than Richard. That's just real talk. Richard was first. Well, Dick Gregory was first, but Dick wasn't raw as Richard. You know what I'm saying? Dick was very dignified. Dick was even on the ballot for president. You know what I'm saying? Dick Gregory ran for president. His name was actually on the ballot. He might have been like the first black man on the ballot for a presidency. Dick Gregory was before Richard Pryor, and Dick was smart, very smart comedian, but he had to watch his mouth, so to speak. You know, like he had to watch what he said. He was very smart and delivered very well what he was trying to get across. But Richard came up where he could have a comedy album called That Nigga Crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dick Gregory couldn't have got away with in the time in which he came up, he couldn't have got away with a comedy album called That Nigga Crazy. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't have got away with calling crackers crackers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
You know, so Richard was first on that hardcore, what we would call hardcore comedy, blue humor, blue comedy. Richard was the pioneer for that, you know, because me as Doodoo Brown, my comedy character Doodoo Brown, I'm very blue, very very shocking. Like, you know what I'm saying? I eat a bitch pussy on stage, you know what I'm saying? Just coming all the way raw, like, let me see you top that. You know what I'm saying? Eat a bitch out.
Yes,
No
You know what I'm
sir.
doubt.
saying? For real, pull a bitch panty to the side and eat her pussy on stage. You know what I'm saying? So like I was saying, George Carlin, Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, they're all better comedians in certain aspects of comedy. They are better than Richard, and that's my honest opinion. You
I
know?
second that. And I would
Yeah,
also like to add Eddie
go ahead.
Griffin. I would
Yeah,
also like to add Eddie Griffin to that.
Eddie Griffin. Eddie Griffin is good. I know Eddie. I performed with Eddie a few times. Eddie is good. He's high energy. He's also a smart comedian. But he ain't fucking with. I don't know. Eddie's good. I can't take nothing from Eddie, but Eddie got a lot of. I don't know how to put it. I just wouldn't put. I wouldn't put. I don't know. Eddie's good.
Here is the reason why I added him to that list, because where you're going is a list of classic comedians, and they all are actors, behind the scenes, script writers, all of the above. And during the early 2000 eras, when I used to be a DJ for a short period of time, I used to make underground mixtapes. I used to buy George Carlin. I used to buy Richard Pryor. I used to buy rest in peace to Dolomite, Rudy Ray Moore. I used to
Yeah,
buy
Rudy Ray
Eddie
Moore.
Griffin CDs. And that's the reason why I added him to that list, because it's only so many comedians that have come and gone of the last, let's say, 35 years to where you are, like when BET jumped off Comic View.
Mhm. Right.
He's been one of those fortunate comedians to be able to have an archive of actual CDs of maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of his comedy series, and we used to buy all of his series, and so it was pretty popular.
Yeah.
But besides that, you're absolutely correct with everything you're saying.
Yeah, Eddie to me, Eddie had a good Eddie did a good Michael Jackson. that's what put Eddie over. He did a good Michael Jackson on crack. That was his signature bit. And that was his platinum bit. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson on crack.
Yeah.
But that's it though.
Yeah.
That's it. I cannot. You might be able to, because you bought CDs or DVDs, but
Right.
I cannot name another platinum Eddie Griffin bit other than Michael Jackson on crack.
Yo,
That's the
the
most memorable
that he
moment.
did.
Right.
Here, one of my memorable moments for Eddie Griffin is midget. when he was sitting there talking with a midget, and he was sitting there like, sorry, my bad, and not even to be politically correct, but he was saying sitting there with this girl, and he put her on his lap, and he just had he did about it, and it was one of those like it was iconic because I listened to him a lot. Good Red Fox, it's like those guys, like they're that whole atmosphere of like Eddie Griffin. He was a different breed comedian because he just spoke on it. He was just like you had to really get of comedy, but he picked the little things that made sense, like the Michael Jackson. Yes, that's his of all time.
The cocaine babbled. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. You know what I mean?
I don't
He was
remember none of that.
also like most of some of our greatest urban comedians,
Yeah,
period, in general.
yeah.
Most of
Well,
all of you who are great.
if you want to put comedy in a genre called urban or Def Jam, he is definitely pick of the litter. If you want to call it urban comedy or Def Jam comedy, he is definitely pick of the litter. But
And so are you. You
well,
are the
I think
king of the underground, and nobody can challenge that. That's why you're here, simply
well,
because
thank
no
you.
matter what anyone else has been able to accomplish, and most of all of them have had that major machine.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I overstand what you're saying.
That's where I'm going. And this is the reason why you're the undisputed king of underground comedy, because you've played on every platform as all of the so-called quote unquote greatest, because there's no particular one. We all
Right.
who are generally in the comedy, especially I
Right.
don't want to associate or attach the name black to comedy. That's why I call it urban, because
Right.
it
Right. I was just thinking today, James. I was just thinking today. I promise you. I'm tired of attaching the word black to us, period. I'm tired of that. And I'm gonna say niggas because it's so, I have been inundated. We have been educated and inundated with the word. I have a love for the word nigga. I love the word nigga. It is a very poignant word, but I hate it when we niggas call ourselves black. We are not black. I hope somebody hear this. I hope somebody pull this up and review this interview. This is the first time I have said this in an interview. We are not black. And guess what else? My niggas, my beloved niggas. That's why the cracker ain't gonna never give you nothing. Because black is nothing. You cannot write a check to black. Black is a byword, just like nigga. Black is a byword. It is not a nationality. It's not a nationality. You are not black. Let me tell you where that whole thing came from. Okay, you're first of all, and you have to research a lot of this on your own because we don't have a whole lot of time. So you're gonna have to listen to me now and believe me later on. But let me say this. We, the African American Negro, we are the chosen people of God. That's who we are. We are God's hidden ones. We are his hidden ones. Research it for yourself. Okay? He told Abraham, this is Genesis 15, verses 13 and 14. And God told Abraham, before he changed his name to Abraham, his name was Abram. And God said unto Abram, know for a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. And there they will serve them and be afflicted 400 years. But afterwards, I will judge that land and bring them out with great possession.
Substance.
We are that people that God is talking about. That's why the world is in such turmoil now, because the 400 years have been served. 1619, the first slave ship reached America. 2019 makes 400 years, and that's why they hit the world with COVID in 2020. Shut this motherfucker down. Make them cover their faces. Make them stay 6 feet apart until we figure out what we're gonna do with God's chosen ones. Because they have a promise that afterwards, after what? After 400 years, he would judge this land and bring them out. Now, the enemy don't know how God is going to implement this. All he knows is that God's word does not return to him void. It is something that has to take place. So, with that being said, the enemy knew you were going to be awakened. He knew this. One day Israel will wake up. Israel is not a place, it is a people. Okay? The enemy, knowing that one day you would wake up, he gave you a false awakening. A premature awakening. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. A false awakening. You start picking your hair out and wearing dashikis and shit and proclaiming yourself to be African and black, which you are neither. Say he put his minions, he made his minions make songs and shit to further indoctrinate you with this lie that you are black. You are not. You are the house of Israel, the seed of Abraham. You are Hebrew. And you're never going to get nothing from America as long as you are professing to be black, because black is nothing. You have to be a nationality for them to cut you a check. Ask Ukraine. Ask anybody else that done ever got some money from America. You have to be of a nationality. You cannot be as obscure as the word black. All right, I went off on a tangent then, but I said that because James brought up something that I swear I was thinking about today, man. We need to get off that say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud shit. You are not black. You are the seed of Abraham. And this world is topsy-turvy because your 400 years have been served. That's why they shut the world down in 2019. COVID, that's why they hit the world with COVID, put everything on a standstill, and then came out with that damn vaccine. Because you are due for a promise from our Father who art in heaven. And the enemy can't stop it. All he can do is put you in a mindset where you fuck yourself out of the promise. Amen.
Amen.
And amen. And that go all the way to
Amen.
Canada. That go
Right.
all the way to Canada.
Oh
Because
yeah.
we're spread out. We are spread out over 4 corners of the world, not just
Absolutely.
America. Do you know they used to call Russia the Black Land?
Yes.
Germany, nigga. We are
Yes.
everywhere. We are scattered all over the place,
Original man.
calling ourselves black. Now, all of this is written. He said, God said in his word that we would be called a byword, like nigger and black and all this other
African
stuff.
American.
African American, Negro, and all that stuff. But the good news is the time has been served and the promise is upon us. So stay focused and all right. I'm off my soapbox about the about about black or not being black. Go ahead. I forget what the question was.
Well, that's
I
what we
got
do. We're
yeah.
also the Plug Room, the Industry Plug magazine. So we're a part of media, press, news, and we have interesting gentlemen like yourself to come on our platform because you're going to do exactly what comes to you naturally. You just drop some jewels. You made it easy for us. We don't have to do the jewel dropping every time we appear on camera because we got people like you who have experience that's far and beyond some of the experience that we have personally ourselves. And you're just reaffirming and reconfirming the message that we've been spreading. Shout out to our brother right there, Dr. Stone. He's a fruit of the Islam.
FOI.
Yes, sir. So you know the discipline that's required when it comes to that. And I'm gonna go back because comedy, along with music, at least from our spectrum, has always gone hand in hand with military, whether it's Air Force, Navy, or Army. I don't know so much as Marines because there's not as many Marine bases and they don't get the experience like the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army when it comes to partying and celebrating with the civilians.
Mm-hmm.
All across the world, everywhere that I know that I was stationed, even when I was overseas in the war, and then when I came back to South Carolina, Fort Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my chance to go to the first EM club and the first officers club and the first NCO
Mm-hmm.
club. Doo-doo, 1993. The
Uh-huh.
hottest record that there was. I don't care on no charts because I ain't even know really about the charts then. But the hottest record that was being played on the radio and all the clubs was that's my man right there throwing down Doodoo Brown. And then the
Right.
next thing you know, out of nowhere, Doodoo Brown is on BET Comic View with Martin Lawrence and giving us a side of
Def
comedy.
Comedy Jam. Def Comedy Jam, Martin Lawrence.
Man, giving us a side of comedy that we have not seen
Right.
since maybe like Eddie Murphy in Raw
Right.
on
Right.
HBO. Our first young urban or young black comedian that we could relate to that
Right.
wasn't from the Richard Pryor or the Dick Gregory
Right.
or the Red Fox era, but was
Right.
influenced by everybody. Come on,
Right.
bro.
Right. That was that was a big part. I mean, Eddie did a whole bit on how he used to imitate Richard Pryor. I think that was delirious.
Yeah.
He did that whole bit on how he used to imitate Richard Pryor. Yeah, Richard Pryor was the catalyst in a lot of comedy careers. Um, that's why that's why he was my standard. He was my standard. But like I said, knowing what I know now, I could have added Eddie Murphy to that list, being better than Richard. Um, just I listened to a lot of my mother's comedy albums, and I listened to. I just watched Richard Pryor stand up. Was it Richard Pryor smoking or something?
Up in
And it
smoke.
up in smoke, and it was very lackluster.
Yeah.
It was a crate. I mean, he admitted to sucking dick and
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
in that comedy special, but it sounded like he
Marlon
was. They
Brando.
never showed the audience, but I think he was in a room full of white people,
Yeah.
and he was bombing.
Right.
They was not feeling him,
Right.
and he was saying some. I mean, the nigga ate a booger and every motherfucking thing.
Right. Some disgusting stuff,
The
man. That's
nigga
like,
I'm talking about, man, that
No,
shit
but
was
see, the whole
crazy,
thing
man.
was sugar
yeah.
booger.
That
Right.
nigga
Yeah.
He called it
dug
sugar
in
booger
his
because
nose and
that was
ate,
bad.
that nigga dug in his nose, nigga, and ate a booger, nigga. He admitted to sucking dick and everything on that motherfucking special, that comedy
Right.
special. It was hard to watch, bruh.
It really was
It
because
was hard to watch. Now that I'm, a grown ass man now, back when I was a youngster, it didn't matter in whatever he said. It shit was just funny. He was just the man. He was just funny as fuck.
right, right.
But
And
now
he
that
thought it was a part of his
I have a lot of comedy under my belt and a lot of life under my belt to watch that now, I'm like, what the fuck kind of ritual was this? What the fuck kind of ritual was this?
he was speaking
Like,
out
that shit
apparently.
was crazy,
Yeah.
bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah, but yeah. Speaking of rituals, uh, that's probably why I am and will remain the undisputed king of underground comedy. Because although I have an extensive resume, I have not taken the oath. I have not been compromised. So I'll probably be underground for my entire career, because in order to be mainstream, uh, and we all love Cat Williams, but in order to be in that light, to win a Grammy, a Emmy, a EGOT, whatever, EGOT being a Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony Award. In order to be a household name in these United States, you have to be affiliated. You have to be brotherhood. And that's the one thing that I lack on my resume, which makes me the true underground king. Now I know Cat adopted. I'm not gonna say he stole it. I'm gonna say he adopted calling himself the undisputed underground king of comedy. But Cat haven't been underground since Friday after next.
Nope.
Yeah, he haven't been underground since he totally stole the movie. I mean, he made the movie
Yeah.
at Friday after next. You can't take that from him. Money Mike put him on, and he ain't been underground since. He
Real
hasn't
talk.
been underground since. But yeah, you have to be affiliated. That's just what it is. And that's where I'll probably be underground for real my entire career.
Let me say this to you because it's a new day, it's a new era, and the machines don't necessarily have to come in the form of those major, silent corrupt investors, because we're partners and we have relationships and we have
Oh,
direct
that's what I'm
ties.
saying. See, I thrive. This is me thriving on the underground, doing the plug room, fucking with James. This is me thriving on the underground. So
Are
I dig it. I dig it. There,
are
you
you
might have
open?
to look for me, but if you look, you will find me. You know what I'm
Without
saying?
a doubt. Are
I'm not gonna necessarily be on your timeline all big badass on your timeline like a Dave Chappelle, or you know what I'm saying, or George Carlin, or these cats, Eddie Griffin. But if you look for me, you will find me. I'm there. I'm just underground for real.
absolutely. Are you
Yeah.
open to
And if I can, let me interject real quick. I appreciate all the jewels, that you dropping for those that are listening actively, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And of course, you don't need me to tell you this, but what's for you, they can't the machine can't stop the machine, not being a
Exactly.
part of that brotherhood or not
Exactly.
doing them rituals. None of that can stop what you got going. And like I said, you
Right.
don't need me to tell you that, but that's why you are who you are and why you doing what you doing, because you got that purity, I guess you can call it, in a sense. You know what I mean? You haven't
Right.
conformed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we
Right.
all know that conformity exists, because one point you made is to be on them channels and platforms, you have to be shaking
Right.
hands with
It's
somebody
like,
like that.
see, I'll be on the plug room, but you probably never see me on Saturday Night Live. There are certain things you're not gonna be on unless you're affiliated. There are certain levels of fame you are not going to see unless you are affiliated. And Saturday Night Live is one of those platforms. It's for brotherhood only.
right?
You will have been initiated if you find your ass on Saturday Night Live.
Absolutely, without
You know
question.
what I'm saying? That's just how that worked. Now you could probably you might be able to make it on the Breakfast Club, maybe, even though
Netflix.
that's a heavy affiliated platform as well. But you might be able to eke your ass on the Breakfast Club for one little segment or something. But
Yeah,
you ain't finna have no whole motherfucking morning with
right,
Charlemagne unless
right,
your ass is affiliated.
right, right.
You dig?
Yeah. Let me ask you
So
this: are you open to doing a one night stand? Because we got the connections with Netflix and Roku, and we got all that stuff live and direct. And you're the person who is in control of the foreseeing future with how you want to see your standing career, your stand-up comic career continue to go. Because we got access to all the platform. We just have to be willing participants and parties willing to come together to make sure that we can make that happen. I mean, and we got partners that's willing to do that for somebody that is as grand as you. I can see you on Netflix. Everybody else is on Netflix that is some so-called somebody.
did did y'all see the stream get interrupted just then? Am I the only one that saw all
Nah,
the
it was
cameras shut
froze.
down?
Yeah, it was froze.
Yeah,
They always
that
watching and
shit
listening.
all four cameras niggas shut down for about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I don't think you saw it, James, because you was still talking when we came back up.
I saw it afterwards because nobody was moving.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was
But
froze.
you was talking about the one night stand.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
saying
something
I
that
didn't hear everything you said because the cameras and microphones shut
okay.
down.
Okay. I'm like, we got partners and we got access to Netflix and Roku and different avenues. And if you're willing to come together with us and our partners to make sure that we can produce along with you your one night stand, and we could distribute it through Netflix. If you're willing to do that, that's something we're able to make happen, because everybody else who is somebody, they're on Netflix. I'm
Right.
I'm guaranteed we can have success with you on Netflix.
Okay. Well, that's something we can talk about. We can definitely talk about that. After my dude Corey Holcomb say 95% of these niggas on Netflix fuck for they had to fuck.
And you know what I'm saying? And it ain't
Had to
even
fuck
like
for
that.
their Netflix special. I'm
Yeah,
like, nah, I'm good.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
good on
yeah. Something they
Netflix.
were willing to do because they didn't believe in themselves or the structure that they were a part of.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm
yeah, we can
saying?
talk about it. We can
Yeah,
definitely
but
talk about it, man.
I
Absolutely.
got a TV network called Hip Hop Television Network, HHMLF. We can make a deal for you. Don't worry, we have our own black network. Stream it, we could do it, we could do whatever, and they're based out of Atlanta. So we
Hey, ATL, that's where I live.
It makes it easier.
that's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
makes it easier because I can set we actually have film crews and everything out there that we'll talk more after this, but I've been wanting to do this because I wanted to start with my fam here and my team because we have talked about this in the past. Works in building our own platforms like you see right now. We have radio, everything here because we just stayed righteous and figured out you're gonna have to fuck for it.
Amen. And
I don't want no Diddy
there's
situation going on around here.
there's
You know what I'm
hey
saying? Like,
man, let me tell you, bro. I could very well have been caught up in all this shit, bro. I'm not lying, bro. I have a Diddy story.
We know. And we want to get one of them
oh
about
gosh,
you before
no
you get up out of here
Diddy
all
story.
night
Please
now.
don't tell
I
me you got a
have a
Diddy story.
Diddy
You
story.
got to tell
So
us this.
so uh I'm gonna try to. It's a very long story. I'm gonna try to condense it down though. So the Lord had been dealing with me about my alcoholism, and I stopped drinking, and he sent somebody to tell me that doors were going to open for me that had been closed, and lo and behold, when Diddy started scouting for new comedians for the new season of Bad Boys of Comedy, lo and behold, a young lady named by the name of Naomi Goldstein, Naomi Goldberg or Goldstein. She was out scouting talent for the new season of Diddy's Bad Boys of Comedy, and I was the only comedian chosen from Atlanta, Georgia. I was the only comic. If you see another comic on the second season of Bad Boys of Comedy from Atlanta, they had to go to a neighboring state like Carolina to be chosen. I was the only comic chosen by Naomi from Atlanta. Okay. I was married, and my wife at the time, for some reason, she missed her plane. So she was unable to watch me tape. She was unable to be there backstage to watch me film my Bad Boys performance. Which she was bummed about that, but it was cool because I was like, watch me.
I guess he.
We back. Okay. Hopefully I still saw myself, so hopefully it was still recorded. Um, I said we can go back the next night and just hang out backstage. Hopefully you can meet Dougie Fresh, you know, and the trip won't be a, you know, a total loss, even though you didn't get to see me perform. So we go back the next night, you know, I still got the pass or whatever, and we just hanging out backstage. I'm not even, you know, I worked the first night. So I don't even need to be there. I'm not really supposed to be there because I'm not working. I'm not scheduled. But like I said, I went because my wife missed my performance. So I'm really just trying to make it up for her, really. So Dougie Fresh sees me and he's like, man, Puff was really feeling you last night, bro. Like Puff talked about you all night last night. And I was like, yeah, okay. And he was like, no, I'm serious, bro. Now this is Dougie Fresh. I'm a fan of Dougie Fresh.
Right, that's my partner right there.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of Doug. So Doug trying to tell me how hard Puff was like digging me. Like, no, bro, you don't understand. Puff was really feeling you last night. So I'm like, okay, great. He's telling me and my wife this. Dougie Fresh is telling me and my wife this story about how Puff was talking about me all night. Okay, so I go to the little refreshment table. I ask my wife, you know, if she wants some chips or drinks or whatever. I go to get her something. Somebody sticks their head from behind the curtain with the little earpiece and shit and says, you Doodoo Brown? I say, yes. They say, Mr. Combs would like to see you in his dressing room right now. I'm like, word? Can I bring my wife? They're like, bring whoever, but you need to come now. He wants to see you. He wants to see you now. So I go get my wife. I'm like, baby, somebody just came from behind the curtain and was like, Mr. Combs wants to see you like right now. So we go to walking up the stairs, and like every few flight of stairs, we're in Harlem. I think we're in Harlem at some theater in Harlem. And we're going up the back stairwell, and like every few flight of steps, there's some man in black looking motherfucker with the earpiece coming up out the collar and shit, looking on some James Bond shit. Every few flights, there's a guy like that standing saying, make sure Mr. Combs gets all your contact information. Like we go up another flight, there's a dude standing there, make sure Mr. Combs gets all your contact information. Like all the way up to the dressing room, this is happening. So we get to the dressing room, and Diddy is getting his hair cut. He's got the thing on. He's sitting down. The barber is, you know, giving him a haircut or whatever. And when I walk in, Dougie Fresh is already up there. And when I walk in, it's lights, camera, action, bruh. Diddy says, yo, when I thought of the concept of Bad Boys of Comedy, I just want you to know that you epitomize my concept of Bad Boys of Comedy. He said, when I went to sleep last night, I was thinking about Doodoo Brown. And when I woke up this morning, I was thinking about Doodoo Brown. And I want to give you the standing ovation that you should have got last night. And he stood up from his haircut while Buddy was cutting his hair. He stood up and took off the cape and gave me a standing ovation from the chair. And everybody in the room followed suit and gave me a standing ovation. And like I said, the cameras was up there and everything. They was filming the whole thing. And he asked me if I wanted to perform again that night. I told him, sure. He said, let me check with my producers, see if there's any time. But he wanted to sign me. And I'm telling you right now, bro, if he would have had the contract right then, bro, I would have signed right then.
I know
because I had already gotten the word from God that doors were going to be opening to me that had been closed. So I would have took that, just like I was the only comic chosen from Atlanta. Naomi told me later that I was the only comedian he had requested to see in that manner, and that she wanted to thank me for making her look good, making her look as though she knows how to pick comedians, because he had not done that for any other comic chosen. I was the only one asked, summoned to the dressing room with the cameras and all that stuff rolling. So, like I said, had he had the contract right then, bro, I probably would have signed right then, thinking thinking that it was all in God's will, you know. But as it turns out, after that night, I never heard from him again. I never heard hide nor hair from him ever again after that night. Diddy story. I could have been the first comedian signed to Bad Boy Entertainment, bruh, and I could have been at a Diddy party and all that shit, bruh. You know what I mean? Thinking, oh, look, I done made it. You know what I mean? And been tied up in, it's very possible, bruh. Very possible. I ain't gonna even front. Yeah. I could have very possibly, like I said, had he been like, hey, man, I want you on the team right now, let's do this, I would have fucking did it. Yeah, but God, you know, God in his infinite wisdom just wanted to show me that what is for me, and can't nobody keep me from that.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, being a part of Bad Boy Entertainment, that wasn't for me. That's being summoned to the dressing room and told that I epitomized the vision, that was for me. You dig? That was what was for me. The confirmation that I am that nigga. You dig? Word.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely appreciate your time. You're sharing the stories, your history, the jewels, and you know, I just want to say this. One thing that's crazy in how God works, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing for you, your brand, and your destiny. But before I had heard the 2 Live Crew record, Doodoo Brown, and seeing the clip of something you did on BET recently from James, I was like, I seen that. I remember that. You know what I mean? The Barney joke that you did watching the TV. I seen that back as a young boy. Right. But recently I had seen, scrolling through social media, I seen a clip with Country Wayne, and you was out, and Mike came out to the driveway or something was out there. Somebody came and you was out there, and I didn't know who you was. I just seen a new clip of Country Wayne and had heard of your name, but didn't know it was you.
Right. And so shout out to Mike Bless, friend of mine from Florida. He's been down with Country Wayne for like 7-8 years. And I saw him at a boxing match one night, and he said, hey man, I've been doing these skits with Country Wayne, I'm gonna call you. And what you're seeing now is him just being a man of his word. He said he was gonna call me, he did. He put me in a couple of skits. The people loved it. And what you're seeing now is him continuing to just bring me into the fold. So shout out to the brother Mike Bless for being a man of his word.
That was the best move they made in 2025. You are totally in addition to everything they got going on. You add that veteran status to something that has the potential to be like the Dave Chappelle show. You are what rest in peace to Paul Mooney was to the Dave Chappelle show.
Word.
Real
Thank
talk.
you, brother.
Yes, sir. You the OG Unc. That's what I call you. That's what everybody know you. I saw you last week, and I was like, "Man, let me go and spread this right quick. This right here,
Word.
this a new jewel, and this right here is a key to us marketing and being able to get some shows in the future with you, bro. You have a value. We just gotta come together as a team, man. And
Oh yeah,
we're
that's
not
what we're
willing to
doing
do
now.
this.
That's what we're
We
doing now. So, like I
yeah,
said, we're gonna talk further and put things into play and in motion that's ordained by the
absolutely,
Most High. You dig? Shout out
absolutely.
to Country Wayne too, because it's his platform. So I want to thank him as well. I haven't had a chance. That's how big that's how big Wayne is. I've been working for him for weeks now and still haven't met him.
You know he
So
gonna make it
shout
a
out to
personal
Country
thing.
Wayne, man. Jesus is popping. Help is on the way. And Jesus been popping and Country Wayne skits, hashtag Country Wayne skits. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. Before we go, let the people know where they need to tap in with you. I appreciate you, brother, for sharing with us. Let them know where
At
to
the
find you and what
true
you got.
at
I need to
at the
hear Doodle
true
Brown.
doodle at thetruedoodle.com. You should be able to find everything you need about Doodle Brown at thetruedoodle.com. THETRUEDOODOO.com. You should be able to find me on Facebook under the same, at the True Doodle, or Instagram at the True Doodle also. So, or you can hit up Dick James and he can show you how to get in contact with me if that didn't come through. You dig?
Yes, sir. Dick James, close us out, brother.
Like always, it's been a pleasure. Continue to do what you do. You're the greatest. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to bring you on our platform.
Thank
And
you for me, brother. Thank you for having me. Just give me a call whenever y'all want to link on the other stuff. We'll chop it up.
absolutely,
Okay. All right. God bless. Yah
God bless.
bless.
The most versatile hip hop radio station in the world. Phenomenal Radio.